Behind the Brand takes an inside look at the people in Orange County that are making things happen. From up-and-coming entrepreneurs to the Fortune 500s, we show you how they go about their business. Get behind the brand and meet the innovators with the know-how and vision to succeed in today's Orange County.
This is the most important thing I could tell you tonight. You want behind the curtain? You want to see how you can become a semi-irrelevant big deal on a fairly irrelevant social media site? This, children. 1,000 tweets, 10,000 tweets. I've now tweeted over 65,000 times, and this number has stayed exactly constant. I reply to 75% of those tweets are replies. When I hit 60,000 tweets, that means I replied 45,000 times to people. What do you have to say all these times? It's called talking with each other. It's conversations. I have 45,000 points of engagement. That's freaking awesome. All from my couch. And my BlackBerry, not driving. When I'm at a light. No, parking lot. No, 100 meters from the car. That's what I'm doing. That's it. That's your secret. Getting retweeted, that builds you new followers. Building relationships is replies. And when you build relationships, they retweet you more. Make sense? It goes hand in hand. And when I started out, when you first start out and it's just kind of you getting started, Twitter's very lonely. If anybody here is kind of new to Twitter, right? You've gone on there and you're like, good morning, everybody. Did it go? Tweet sent 4 minutes ago. Maybe I'll retweet it myself. No, nobody? Okay, good. It's like the stages of tweeting, right? You get to the whole anger issues and stuff. So what my job was is to put the messages out there. My job was to talk directly to people, to retweet other people. My job was 3 to 5 times a day to write a retweetable content, which meant a great standalone tweet that was under 120 characters, not 140, 120, so it was easily retweeted every day of that month. So in that month, I had about 100 tweets that were standalone, great retweetable ones, 100 of them that month, so they got spread. And when they did really well, I favored it, and I would send it again the next month. I'd change it up a bit, and people were like, hey, you sent that last month. I don't know whether to be flattered that you knew what I sent last month or scared you knew what I sent last month. Either way, just retweet it and shush. You'll be fine. Here's the problem. People always say ROI. What's the ROI of social media, Scott? Can you give us a hard number? We don't understand the R or the I of return on investment. Every time you ask for ROI on Twitter, a kitten dies. And a unicorn. It's your fault. It's a good tweet, by the way. It's always a favorite. But it's true. I don't know. If you take the word Twitter out or Facebook out and put the word talking in there and then let your boss say it, what's the ROI of talking? He sounds like a moron. I don't understand the ROI of having a conversation in the marketplace, Scott. You don't? I don't understand the ROI of talking to our market. And what I realize, companies actually sometimes don't care. I realize that some companies don't do well in social media because they actually don't give a damn about what the market thinks. They want them to buy or goodbye. They don't care. I understand that now. I really had to learn that. I'm being totally serious with you. But the companies who do care, they understand the conversation. I don't ever want to know what the ROI is because it's never infinite. You can never pin it down. I don't want to know the ROI of talking to some of you tonight. I don't want the ROI of our conversation. You're $6, you're $7, you're -5. What's wrong with you? You're $11. I don't know. I don't want to know. I just know that people do business with people they know, like, and trust. And when you create awesome and you have awesome people, awesome happens. That's what I like to do. That's how I know my ROI. I've profited financially. Do you honestly think I would live on frickin' Twitter for 2 years because I'm getting nothing out of it? I don't run marketing. I run UnMarketing. My entire revenue for my agency can be directly attributed to Twitter. How's that taste for ROI? You wanted to bring something back to the office? Take that. But you know why it doesn't work? Because it's not transferable. I'm a monkey spaz. I am so spastic and ADD, I know you couldn't tell. But Twitter's perfect for my personality. It's perfect for it because this is how I like to do it. I like to use humor and it works well. It doesn't mean you can do it. You could tweet 10,000 times in a month or 7,000 times and get nothing. That's why case studies and benchmarking in social media should only be used as tips, not a hard guide, because it's so individual based. There's plenty of studies out there. You can find them. Just go to that Google place and put social media ROI or case studies. They're out there. There's a lot of them out there. But they're not directly transferable, so be careful with that. Here's a warning for all of you. Never say or do anything in social media that you don't want to see on a billboard with your name, your face, and your logo, and your mom, and your boss, and your biggest client driving by. Everything can and will be held against you in the court of social media. That picture is me pole dancing in Vegas last year. I made a reappearance this year. And I just hot up there, and it was at Blog World, and Justin Timberlake came on. I just don't know what came over me. And I just jumped on the stage and did my little, and I did my little dance there. I think that's the sprinkler I'm doing there. And I hopped off the stage and was already on Twitter. And my mom saw it. Hi, Mom. How are you? But it goes out there. The problem is we can change our brand like that. I call this part here branding. Ta-da! In like 5 tweets or less, how to ruin your reputation. It takes 1,000 tweets to create your reputation and 1 to ruin it. And here we go. April Dunford, a friend of mine. Say hi to her if you can on Twitter. She hates it when I do it, so please do. She's awesome. She says, you run a cafe, about 50% of your customers are working on laptops. You have 1 electrical outlet. I'm talking about you, Mr. Dark Horse. Dark Horse Cafe is a cafe in Toronto, a coffee place on Spadina downtown. So April's just venting. She didn't talk directly to the Dark Horse Cafe account. You see how she's doing? She's just venting, yes? It's the passive conversation. If I came to your boss or the one who does not want you using social media, if I approached them 5 years ago and said, hey, I have a tool, and in this voice too, because it's hush hush, I have a tool that'll allow us to listen to the passive conversation about our brand, our industry, our current customers, our future ones, and our competition, you would pay $50,000 a month for it. But now that it's free, you want to know the ROI? If you make $1, it's infinity. It's like 1 over 0. Your calculator can't even do it. Holy monkey nuts. So, that's my quote. So, she says this, just generally. My buddy Justin says, hey, Dark Horse Cafe, check out what April just said. Stirring the pot up a little bit there. So how do you think Dark Horse replies? A, thanks, April, for the feedback. We'll look into it. B, thanks, April. What happens is people buy 1 coffee and they camp out for 7 hours. But come and have a latte on us and we can chat about it. Or C, do they say, that's awesome. We are in the coffee business, not the office business. We have plenty of outlets to do what we need. What? Showed her. Best part about this tweet? The 3 dots at the end. You know what that means? They're not finished yet. If you're going to publicly rag out a customer, make it a 2-parter. Maybe you should just enjoy the cafe and take a break from your computer for a few minutes and enjoy the space you're in. How's that taste, April? You like that one? Well played, Dark Horse. Well played. April replies, sorry I mentioned it. Sometimes I show people stuff on my computer over coffee. Please ignore the customer feedback. Gee whiz. She's much nicer than I would have been. I'm sitting there at the computer. I saw this live, and I'm just doing this. Apparently I was watching tennis. And print screen, screenshot, save, put in presentation, save, put in presentation, put in book. Put in presentation, put in book. So you'll see this in the book. So that's your branding ta-da point here. The last thing I want to talk to you guys about is probably the thing that really gets me going the most is trolls. Okay? Trolls aren't critics. Trolls aren't your customers with a problem. Those are valid conversations to have. I truly believe that. I think the most valuable thing in business is to have an honest opinion about what you're doing. Trolls suck. Trolls are jackasses. Trolls are, anybody here used to be on IRC chat or have ICQ and all that type of thing? Right? My geeks, yeah, my geeks in the house, good old school geeks. People used to pop on a chat and go, your mother, and they run away. Be like, oh, you son of, I can't, oh, you went away. I'll get you, troll. I'll get you. They have no life. They're losers, and they hate the fact that you're doing something right. And they decide to bring you down rather than lift you up. And they say things like this, am I the only one that finds UnMarketing an annoying, blabbermouth, self-prophetic ass? I didn't like this. Not because of what he said. I didn't like it because I didn't know what self-prophetic meant. So I had to go look it up. I'm not kidding. And I had to go to dictionary.com, and then I misspelled dictionary. Ironic. And I went and found it out, and then I kind of agreed with him. He's kind of right, if you can't tell. But the problem is, if I reply to him, who wins? He has 35 followers. At this time, I had 40,000. Who wins this battle if I reply? He does. And that's the biggest problem. When somebody says, maybe you should drop the "un" from your name and start marketing, for some reason I find your tweets boring and without substance. And somebody said to me, well, why don't you talk to him, Scott, and give him a virtual hug and win them over? I'm not the jackass whisperer. I'm not like Caesar Milan with two jackasses on a leash running up the street. You have to be the dominant jackass, and just hitting them with modems and stuff like that. That's not our job. I have a shirt that I wear at some conferences that says, the Latin phrase, it says, oderint dem metuam. It's Latin for, let them hate as long as they fear. Now, mind you, that's from a 16th century Spanish dictator who used to behead people all the time and kill them. But what it means to me is they hate your success. They hate that you're doing well. And they hate themselves. And it's easier for them. They fear that. And it's easier for them, to bring you down than put you up. Plus, they look like this. There's like 19 points of wind in that photo right now. But there's a new version. This is the old school. You can tell by the wood paneling this is old. This is the new version. Now, if you can't tell, that guy's got 4 popped collars. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a quad pop. You never have to justify yourself to a dude popping 4 collars. Ever. You actually never have to justify yourself to anybody, because the greatest success in social media is when you are your authentic self. You have no competition. Don't justify yourself to him. Don't justify yourself to me. Just be you and be awesome. Thank you so much, Orange County.